Welcome to FluteChats.com, a flute podcast with host Viviana Guzman.
So here we are at the San Diego Flute Guild Spring Flute Festival. Did I say it right? And I have with me my guest, the wonderful flutist, beautiful flutist, Jenni Olson. And I wanted to welcome you and thank you for taking the time. I want to ask you, tell us a little bit about your background. Who did you study with? How did you choose the flute? Anything you'd like to share with us?
Sure. Well, I started the flute because it was the only instrument I had ever heard of from a non-musical family. And I think my aunt had played the flute in band. So there was one in the attic that I begged my mom to play, and I wanted to play the flute. And she said, nah, you'll get at it, you'll grow out of it, you don't really want to play musical instruments. I said, please, I really want to play the flute. So a few years later she finally let me play the flute. They dug it out of the attic.
How old were you?
And that's how I started in 6th grade, so 11 or 12 years old.
Okay, yeah.
And then I studied, I started off at Cal State University Stanislaus here in California. I studied with Carol May Scott, and then did my master's in DMA at USC with Jim Walker.
Oh, Jimmy Walker.
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
And so then what happened after you graduated?
After I graduated, I started taking a couple auditions. I won a couple auditions in LA, so I'm in the Long Beach Symphony, the Santa Barbara Chamber Orchestra.
Wow, you're busy.
And then also the Stockton Symphony, which is where we originally met just a few weeks ago, and Stockton Symphony up in Northern California. So.
Oh, wow, that keeps you very busy. That's very great.
Yeah, it's
wonderful.
Fun. It's very fun.
So tell us a little bit about... I want to inspire some young flutists that might be watching this. Do you have any kind of message or insight or words of wisdom that you can share with us?
The only thing I can really think of is that if you set your mind to it, you can pretty much do anything you want. I just made little goals throughout my life and just one at a time, one little step at a time. And if you want it badly enough, I think anything is possible.
Wow. Are you very organized?
Very organized.
I love that. That's also a necessary quality.
It definitely helps.
It helps, yeah.
In organizing your goals, for sure.
Sure. Today, the workshop that you presented, that was more recording. Tell us about that.
Sure.
What do you do with that?
Well, I live in Los Angeles, so of course the recording industry, the studio industry is big there. And I started off doing student films when I was at USC. So the composers that were students themselves would have us play for their student films. And so I made a couple really good friends that have become successful film composers, are starting to become more and more successful in their television and film careers. So that's kind of how I got started into that, knowing these people and working for them. It's just amazing to play a film soundtrack and see the picture behind you and just be a part of such a really big score that you know millions of people are going to see and be a part of. It's just something about, I think movie music is what I fell in love with, the flute. The E.T. that I was telling you guys about, the Robin Hoods and the Disney movies of the 80s, there's a lot of woodwind and there's a lot of orchestral flute playing in there, and that's probably why I chose the flute.
That's interesting. Do you do more recitals as well?
Sometimes, I'm working on a bunch of recitals this season or this semester because I'm going to do another album in the summer of all commissioned new works. So I've commissioned probably 7 pieces, one for each of the instruments: piccolo, flute, alto flute, and bass flute, and penny whistle.
And penny whistle.
And penny whistle. So 5 different instruments, 6 or 7 different composers. And so throughout the semester I've been playing recitals of these pieces just to get ready for the, recording of the album.
Now, is this your first album, or do you have others? Second. Okay.
My second one kind of started off the same way. It was a bunch of friends had written pieces in college. I played for their composition recitals, or maybe they just wrote them for groups that I was in, and they were such great pieces of music, I thought they should be recorded. So I got into this recording and just self-produced my own album.
Okay, and the albums are entitled what? Where can we get them?
The first one, the second one's not out yet. The first one is titled Jenni Scott, and you can get it on CD Baby or through my website at jenniferflute.com.
jenniferflute.com. Okay, that's pretty easy.
Right, and then the other one will be up there as soon as it's done.
Oh, okay, great.
And also iTunes, of course. You can always search for it on iTunes.
Right. Anything else you'd like to share with us?
No, it's just been a pleasure meeting you and a pleasure playing with you. And
well, likewise.
Yeah.
It's been great to have you, and thanks for taking the time to share with the audience out there.
Sure, no problem. My pleasure.
My name is Viviana Guzman, and we're here with Jenni Olson at the San Diego Flute Guild Spring Festival Flute Festival.
2011.
2011. Bye-bye.